I am such an awesome guy. I make so many videos.
Hello there, Price of Reason here with a movie review. Ever since I can remember, the Hollywood system has tried to make Zoe Kravitz a thing, but I've never really bought into her. To me, she's always seemed like a pompous, self-entitled, overrated Hollywood nepo baby who isn't musically gifted like her father Lenny Kravitz, and also doesn't have the on-screen charm and personality of her mother, Lisa Bonet. So when I heard about her new movie, Blink Twice, which she directed and co-wrote, I really didn't have any expectations that it would be any good. Its original title, Island, which was later changed to something more generic, also gave me the feeling that this movie would be some type of female activist fever dream, so it already annoyed me right when I first heard about it. Still, when a movie comes out, I do my best to disconnect my personal feelings from it and give it a fair chance. In spite of my lack of enthusiasm when it comes to Zoe Kravitz or Blink Twice prior to seeing it, as a reviewer, my job is to watch a movie and to evaluate it objectively based on its own merits and then give it an honest review. So in this video, I'm going to go over what I didn't like about Blink Twice, what I did like about it, followed by my official score. And if you enjoy these type of exclusive movie reviews, make sure to like, subscribe, and get notifications, because every interaction with this video really helps my channel get noticed by the algorithm. And with that out of the way, let's begin. Blink Twice is a movie about two financially struggling female roommates who work as waiters for rich people. One day after a party they work at, they're invited by billionaire Slater King to join his entourage, board a private plane, and go hang out at his island. At first, when they arrive, it seems like a perfect vacation getaway, but the longer they stay on the island, the more it becomes apparent that there's something fishy and more sinister going on. Now, I'm not looking to spoil the entire plot of the movie for anybody who wants to see it, but even from the trailer, marketing, and its own original title, it's clear that Blink Twice is about an island where ladies are taken advantage of by rich white men who like, grapes? Anyhow, in this movie, main character Frida gradually learns what's going on behind the scenes and that this billionaire's island isn't exactly the vacation paradise resort as it had initially seemed. And once Frida is able to put all of the pieces of the puzzle together, she decides to take action and do something about it. And in a way, this is probably the biggest issue I have with this movie. I think it's rather obvious to viewers what's happening on the island early on, but it sure seems to take Frida a long time to figure it out. And oddly, once she's finally aware, the movie picks up the pace too quickly and unreasonably, with resolutions that fall into place much too conveniently. There's also a strange plot device involving women forgetting all of their traumas, but due to its rather poor execution, to me, this idea actually raises more questions than answers, because how is it that the women could completely forget some events while vividly remembering others? I guess what I'm saying here is that while the idea of memory loss could be somewhat interesting, in this case it feels highly implausible even within the movie's own logic, and that's why I would say that Blink Twice's screenplay ultimately also ends up being this movie's weakest link. Perhaps if co-writer Zoe Kravitz had been more focused on storytelling rather than delivering heavy-handed messages of modern-day female empowerment, there could have been a much better movie here than what we ended up with. And in that sense, I would even say that this movie is a missed opportunity. It so desperately wants to be a hybrid of Get Out, Me Too, and Jeffrey's Island that it somehow ends up missing the mark in the big picture. Still, on the bright side, at least Kravitz didn't hijack somebody else's IP in order to make this movie. Unlike, let's say, Rian Johnson or Leslie Headland, Kravitz isn't ruining somebody else's work or lore. She isn't attacking an existing fan base either. Good or bad, Blink Twice is Zoe Kravitz's own creation, so she can do whatever she pleases with it, and it's up to you to decide if you like it or not. Also, as much as the writing here is flawed, I can't say that everything about this movie doesn't work. For starters, I think that the cast here does a good job. Channing Tatum gives an unexpectedly solid performance as a douchey billionaire. Screen veterans Christian Slater, Geena Davis, and Sixth Sense actor Haley Joel Osment all deliver fine performances as well. Alia Shawkat of Arrested Development and Adria Arjona of Andor have somewhat challenging roles, and both of them certainly rise to the occasion. And if I had to point out a standout performance within the cast, it would have to be Naomi Ackie as Frida. To date, I was only familiar with Ackie from Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams' embarrassing and pathetic Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker, which had completely wasted her talents. In this movie, though, Ackie does a lot of heavy lifting acting-wise, and I think she proves she's genuinely a good actress. Another positive thing about this movie is its use of music, which often gives the movie a rather stylish feel. Also, its effective cinematography and overall visual choices give the feeling that Blink Twice is a bigger movie than its rather modest $20 million budget would suggest. In that sense, I would have to give some credit to first-time director Zoe Kravitz. In spite of what I thought about her going into Blink Twice, I can't say that this movie isn't competently directed. I just wish it was a better movie overall. Perhaps if somebody else had actually given Zoe Kravitz a screenplay that she didn't write, she could have actually delivered a truly good movie. As it stands though, I think that Blink Twice is pretty mediocre overall, and it isn't exactly helped by its aggressive, heavy-handed messaging and overall subject matter. I suppose that if you're a woman and that you love the Me Too movement, perhaps this movie would appeal to you, but if you're just an average dude looking to escape for 2 hours with an enjoyable popcorn movie thriller, then this movie probably isn't for you. While the movie isn't boring or anything, I thought it was rather unpleasant and even tedious to watch at times, so unless it's blunt, activist themes are exactly what you're craving, I can't really recommend Blink Twice, even though it's also not necessarily the worst movie ever made, which makes it very difficult for me to actually give this movie a score. On the one hand, there were enough things about it that actually did technically work, but at the same time, I didn't enjoy it at all, and it's safe to say that I will never watch it again. So taking all of that into consideration, if anything under a score of 60 out of 100 would be considered a failing grade, I would give this movie a 60 out of 100. That means it just barely gets a passing grade, even though I personally didn't like the movie at all, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody I know. So if you're into more lighthearted fare, action, adventure, sci-fi, or even straight up horror, this movie is probably not the right fit for you. But if nothing else, I suppose it proves that while Zoe Kravitz is a better director than she is an actress, she definitely still needs to work on her writing. And in addition, please make sure to like, subscribe, and get notifications so that you're always up to speed with my reviews as I post them. Thanks for watching, my friends. Thank you, and good day!
I am such an awesome guy. I make so many videos. But I'm